Yo, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, you watched my last video on why I went from a PC gamer or from console to PC back to console. Anyway, I want to kind of expound on that subject and I want to explain to everybody why I know or believe that PC gaming just ruined all of esports. Okay, so I will not lie to you and say that PC gaming is not awesome. And PC gaming is better. You don't have to pay for online subscriptions. You get higher frame rate, etc., etc. Some of the cons that people don't like to explain, or maybe they do, but is that price point. In order to get into PC gaming to have a decent rig where you're going to want to be competitive, you're going to be spending over $1,000 on the PC itself. If you want a PC, if you want to take advantage of all that PC, now you got to upgrade monitor. There's just so many layers to it. Opposed to if you just bought like a PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, they're capped at 120, and you can literally find some of those consoles for like $400 used. And back in the day, about 2 years ago, you could find those for literally like $300. And that and to me, that was the greatest time in esports is when everybody was on that level playing field and the cost of entry was small. Now, if you were going to compete in, let's just say Fortnite, you're going to need over $1,000 PC to, because like I said, who's getting into these esports? It's mostly younger kids who are not going to have the technical savvy to build their own PCs. Maybe save some dollars, but it doesn't matter. Prices are going up. So basically, what that did is now we're not catering to the average day Joe. You're not catering to the high school kids anymore. I feel like esports, for the specific esports like the FPS games, you can only maybe even compete if you're on PC. Consoles just limit you. So I do love that Fortnite does these console only esports, but unfortunately, what kind of dominates like Twitch and YouTube and what gets the views is going to be the people on PC gaming. So basically, not you're not catering to the masses. You're catering to the top, 1%, top 10% of people who even have the funds to get into it. This is why I still, or I kind of drifted away from all the FPS games because people are not on an even playing field. And I haven't even brought up the cheating situation. Uh, People love to say console players cheat too. Okay, as somebody that's played both, the ratio for PC cheaters, it's not even close. Like I take console cheaters with their modded controllers every single day over somebody using wall hacks on PC. So just miss me with that. It's all cope. But anyway, so, like I said, you used to have a low cost of entry to get into esports or FPS. Everybody was on the 360. I came up with the Xbox 360 MLG era. We didn't have these PCs. We had was Xbox 360s and some ViewSonic monitors. Everybody had the same equipment, and if you wanted to give yourself an advantage, you would just buy the equipment that you knew MLG was going to be using. Nowadays, people are spending like tens of thousands of dollars on their setup for like 20 frames advantage. So basically, like I said, you're not catering to everybody. You're catering to the top 1% of people that can even afford that. So I'm just completely turned off on these esports, like the FPS games. The only ones I still enjoy watching because I feel like the average day Joe can still get into it is like these fighting games like Super Smash Bros, Street Fighter 6, Tekken. A lot of these games I like to watch the tournaments because usually they're playing on a PS5, and I know at home that there's a kid probably watching that's like, I want to get into that game. How much is it going to cost? So maybe they picked up a US PS5 or they get one for Christmas, and bam, they're basically in it. I think the only detriment, the only bad thing you can say about consoles now, especially now that they basically went up to 120 FPS, is that you have to pay for online multiplayer. For me, the way I look at it is that's basically you're paying for anti cheat because In all my years, I spent 1 week on PC. I could spend 1 week on PC gaming and find more cheaters than I would find in a whole lifetime of playing on the Xbox. So anyway, that's just my rant on why I think PC gaming just ruined esports. Like I said, you're only catering to the top 1% of people who can afford it, which I happen to be. But I just remember, being a high school kid. I remember being a college kid and looking up to these things. And I can't even imagine, me looking up to a Call of Duty pro who's got some like $5,000 rig that I'll just never be able to afford. So I just you got to have these people have to have hope. These people that are coming up, they have to have hope and they have to have the ability to compete. And the only way you do that is you have to kind of lower the standards, the barrier of entry, so more people can join. So it's just like if you're making a game free to play, you would you would allow more people to play it, and you would hopefully grow the audience because more people have access to it. But if you're only allowing, or if the only way you can compete is with it's like if everybody needed steroids, and it was just like everybody let them run rampant on steroids. That's what PC gaming is, just steroids. So it's like, unless you're going to take these steroids, you have no chance to compete because these guys have bigger muscles and bigger stamina and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that's just how I feel. That I don't watch any FPS. I don't watch any FPS esports anymore. The only ones that I'm still entertained by is the fighting games. And that's because, I expressed in the video. But anyway, I think I got it all out. Y'all have a good one, and I'll catch y'all later.